Hi, I'm Cheryl Bell Crowley with West Virginia University Extended Learning. Today we're going to talk about Scotland, and I have as my guest one of the best Scots in the area, complete with the accent to match. I'd like to introduce to you my guest today, who is Davey Ramone Morrison. Hi Davey, how are you?
Not bad, thank you. How are you?
Well, we'd like to start off by talking about Scotland, and since on our travel study we're going to be starting out in Glasgow, and you have roots from Glasgow.
Oh yeah.
But let's review for a minute, because I think what most people in West Virginia know about Scotland probably is more limited than you would think. The head of state in Scotland is the Queen of England. Is that correct?
Yeah.
For better or worse?
Yeah.
She's the monarch,
of
the United
Kingdom.
Kingdom.
United Kingdom, as it stands.
Okay. Now, the language, obviously, English is spoken there, but also you speak what's called Lowland Scots.
Lowland Scots, yeah.
And then
myself.
there's Scottish Celtic.
Gaelic.
Or Gaelic.
Yeah,
Gaelic, right.
Gaelic.
Okay. The Church of England is different than the Church of Scotland, which is mostly Lutheran, would you say?
Yeah.
In terms of religion, the predominant religion?
Predominantly Protestant, I would say.
Protestant?
Yeah.
Okay. And finally, when we think about Scotland, the stereotype of Scotland, everyone always thinks of the bagpipe, you know, the Scot dressed in the kilt with the bagpipe. And in your history, you're both a sculptor, and we'll talk about a sculpture that you created here in a few minutes, and you're also a musician.
Yeah.
So let's kind of talk a little bit about your life as you were growing up.
Well, I was born in a town called Airdrie, which is about 14 miles from Glasgow, and went to primary school, kindergarten, until I was 12. Then I moved on to high school, and I left high school at age 16 to try and get a trade in the building trades.
Now your family. You came from a mining family.
Yeah, my father was a miner. Yeah.
He was a miner, and then tell a little bit about what happened and why it was so critical that you left school at 16.
Well, when I was 12 years of age, my father was badly injured in a coal mining accident, and he lost 7 toes. And his leg was badly smashed up, so he never worked for the rest of his life. He was 55 when that happened. So financially, economically, there was no way I could stay at school.
So you left school to help the family, to go to work?
Yeah, but I wasn't much of a scholar. I won't lie about it.
Well, I think that's something that West Virginians, you know, we have a lot of Scottish roots ourselves, and West Virginians can certainly identify with people who work in the mines. We have people who work not only in the coal mines, but the steel mines, etc. So we certainly can understand what that would be like. Now, considering you're pretty much of a young man still yourself, so the fact that you had to leave school and then help support your family, and then tell us what happened after that. You then...
Well, I drifted through a couple of dead-end jobs before I got a job in a steel mill, where I worked from age 18 until I was 38. So I was there for most of my young life.
So your background, you worked most of the time in the steel mills?
Yep, yeah.
Okay. Now, how, if you're working long hours in a steel mill, do you have time to be a sculptor and a musician? Tell us about that.
I just made the time. I'd been injured at one point, and one of my friends had given me a block of clay and a how-to book. So I taught myself basically how to sculpt while I was in plaster. Yeah, due to an industrial accident. Now
tell us about this sculpture right here. This is near and dear to your heart.
Yeah, very, and most Scotsmen's hearts. This is a man called William Wallace, better known as Braveheart in this country.
So most Americans have seen the movie Braveheart, and William Wallace is the hero of Scotland.
He was a hero of most Scottish people.
And remind us, he stood up against the English?
Well, Wallace stood up against the English at a time when the English king and army were overrunning Scotland. They installed themselves in various castles, and they were brutalising the Scottish population. Wallace was the son of a small knight, a man called Malcolm Wallace, of Ellerslie, or Eldersley. There's a bit of dispute about exactly where he came from. Wallace was initially destined for the priesthood, but he was involved in a fracas in Perth, a beautiful part of Scotland, where an English nobleman was killed, so he became an outlaw. There are suggestions that he married and settled in central Scotland. His wife's name was Marion Breadfoot, and she came from a town of Lanark, and she was killed there, supposedly helping Wallace to escape from an English garrison. Well, after his wife was killed, Wallace returned and wiped out the garrison, and that was him. He was a complete outlaw. There was a price in his head. But also being an educated man, he eventually rose to become the Guardian of Scotland, and he helped to open up trade routes. I think he spoke to the Pope in Scotland's behalf. There's a scrap of parchment in London still, which was a safe conduct that Wallace would have carried on his person at all times. This was taken from him when he was captured.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So our group, as we tour Scotland, will probably be learning a lot more about him. Mm-hmm. Now let's talk a little bit about how you came to the United States.
I came to the United States as part of a band called Clan and Roma.
Okay, the band called Clan and
Clan
Roma?
and Roma, yeah. I met the guys at a folk festival in Scotland. I've been a bass player in a punk band, I've been a folk singer, and I was a folk singer when I met these guys, so they extended an invitation for me to join as a baran player, the Irish handheld drum. So,
okay, so you play an Irish handheld drum?
Yeah, the baran.
The baran.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and is that the one that you play kind of sideways?
Yeah.
Okay.
Almost like a shield, you can hold it.
In case out there somebody is familiar with that.
Yeah. You hold it, it's almost a shield shape, and you just...
It's a shield shape, okay.
Play it this way.
Okay.
So I came on a tour of Highland Games, and I met my wife Kimberly while we were on tour.
So the Highland Games is what brought you here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, and then, and you stayed here because...
No, back and forth, various tours.
You came back and forth?
Yeah.
And then you met and married your wife?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah?
Yep.
Here?
Kimberly.
So she's a local girl, lives here in Clarksburg. All right, and you now have a 5-year-old son?
6-year-old, yeah.
6-year-old, pardon me.
Stepdaughter, yeah.
Yeah, right here in Clarksburg, great. Some of the other things that people like to know about Scotland, one thing that I like to talk to people about once we have our final selection, and right now, people will go to our website at www.elearn.wvu.edu, and they can just click on Scotland, our Scotland tour, and that's how they can register. And they have probably up until March 18th to put down a deposit. Now, once we do that, and the reason I'm telling you this is because then we'll meet as a group and we'll probably start having dinner together and talking a little bit about Scotland. And one of the things that we like to talk about is the perception of Americans in Scotland and how people should, what cultural nuances are a little bit different, what they should look out for.
I would say Scots as a race of people were a bit more introverted. I wouldn't say shy so much. It take a little while to get to know, but if we like you, we'll open our hearts and our homes to you, and we'll look after you.